Have you noticed short supplies and high prices for cars, dishwashers, microwaves, computers, or gaming consoles? Well, all those things need chips or semiconductors, which have been in short supply because of the pandemic and because, quite frankly, the United States just doesn't produce them the way we used to, so we have to import them. So to stop that, after months of negotiating, Congress is close to finalizing a $52 billion piece of legislation to subsidize the production of chips right here in the United States. But there's a lot of pushback on this bill, and it is not done yet. I'll tell you why in a second. But first, what is this bill? Well, the new legislation would provide the funding through tax incentives and grant money for the CHIPS Act, which was passed back in 2021 by Congress. The new funding would do several things, including establish tax credit for investment in constructing, expanding, and upgrading semiconductor manufacturing facilities and equipment in the United States, as well as credits for semiconductor designs. The U.S. Commerce Department says in the 1990s, the U.S. produced about 37% of all of the chips worldwide, and today we produce only about 12%. The biggest producers, South Korea, Taiwan, and China, and that's where we import them from. Now, to the pushback. American companies aren't producing these chips out of the kindness of their hearts. It's a costly, messy business, and these subsidies would incentivize them to do it. But several senators, including Bernie Sanders, have called this bill corporate greed and said if the federal government is going to subsidize these huge tech companies with tax dollars, there should be strings attached, like giving the federal government equity interest or preventing the companies from shipping jobs overseas or even forbidding them from buying back their own stock. So now what? Since the House and Senate passed two different versions of this funding legislation, members from the House and the Senate go to what's called a conference. That's when negotiators from both the House and the Senate meet to reconcile the differences between these two bills. Then both chambers have to vote again. This whole process could take a few more months.